But we're going to start off with what happened this week in the NFL when we saw coaches get fired.
Like always.
Right. And recently, 2 black coaches got fired. One of them in Miami, Brian Flores, he ended up actually having 2 back-to-back winning seasons.
Right.
Even though they didn't make the playoffs, they did have back-to-back winning seasons, which is kind of hard to make the playoffs in the position that they're in. The other one was with the Texans, David Coley, and he was fired just after 1 year without his starting quarterback, without any of the pieces that they got rid of. He was given a team that didn't exist and was told you had to win. So the question I have for you is, do you believe that those particular men firing was justifiable?
No, hell no.
Okay. Why?
Why?
Why? They did.
You want me to say it's because they black?
No.
Okay. But I mean, no, it's just that's your job. Oh, I forgot we didn't have specific roles, so I apologize. But yeah, no, it's not justifiable. Like I said, like been mentioned, Coach Miami, Brian Flores had the season actually turned out pretty good towards the end. Right. You know, they were winning. He seemed very destined to do bigger things next season, which is, like I said, very understandable. You know, the results he kept, like I said, he kept boosting his quarterback. He said, "Yo, we're gonna stick with Tua. Tua's our guy, whatever, throughout the season, and regardless of how bad he was playing." And yeah, in the beginning, the season sucked, but towards the end, it turned out pretty good. That was on. Now your guy from Texas, yeah, he just basically given a college practice squad and told them, "Hey, go win games." I mean, you think about it, no Derek Watson. Sorry. No, Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, of course, your boy Hopkins, he's long gone. You have no defense because your boy Watt's gone. I mean, you really, you pretty much diminished your team and you gave this man a team to basically just show up and play.
You're right. And it was funny because I heard something interesting, and I have to give it shout out to Marcellus Wiley. Deshaun Watson wanted a black coach.
Right.
They gave him a black coach.
Right.
They didn't give him probably the most qualified black coach. They didn't give him the black coach that he wanted, but they gave him a black coach. And they said, now that we gave you a black coach, what are you going to do? Well, we saw Deshaun not play this season.
Right.
So do you think that Deshaun is part of the reason why this coach was fired? We gave you what you wanted, and you still didn't play. The team didn't suspend him.
What do you mean? That don't make any sense.
Okay, so you asked for something.
Right.
And you get it.
Right.
But then you mistreat it.
How you mistreated?
Because he didn't show up to play.
You didn't mistreat it. He didn't do anything to mistreat it.
He didn't support it.
That's a stretch there, buddy.
Is it?
Yeah.
If I give you something that you wanted and you mistreat it or you put it down,
and they didn't. I understand, but they didn't suspend him. They put him on the. I forgot the list. They put him on. He really couldn't play. They couldn't really suspend him. Because that's on the team. That's on the league.
And the league didn't suspend him, but publicly he never came out to say, "Hey, I support this coach." Publicly, he asked for. He did ask for a minority coach. Now we know the coach he wanted is in Kansas City, Eric. That's what he really wanted.
Right.
I get that. They gave him the oldest version of a black coach that they could find, which was actually saying that we're going to give you what you asked for. May not be exactly what you want, but it's wrapped in the package that you desire.
You can't really mistreat anything if you haven't really directly interacted or had some. You really can't mistreat anything. I wouldn't call it mistreating. I mean, maybe. I still think there's more to it. I don't think he did not play for a reason.
No, I'm not.
And like I said, his issues with the team front office is not with the team itself. They did that to keep them, just make things suffice. Okay, here's your black coach. So my thing is this. If you're going to do something in request of somebody to please them, you try to do it to the letters, to the T. Now, it's one thing if they actually went after this coach and he said, no, okay, we couldn't get this coach and we give it this. How about this guy here? That's one thing. Because mind you, they didn't consult him on, all he made the request. And they figured, okay, we'll just get a black coach and it'll calm him down. And if he chose not to play, he chose not to play. We don't know his reasons. But I don't think he chose not to play. I'll be honest with you. So, I mean, this is, like I say, it's not a thing of where you are, you're like, okay, you ask for a bicycle and you get the kid a pony,
I mean, I see it from both sides, but the one thing I will say is sometimes in life, and we talked about this,
right?
We are our brother's keeper,
right?
And I think if Deshaun would have at least stood at the forefront to support this coach, maybe that coach may have ended up in the second season. Maybe.
I don't
we
know.
may never know.
That's a stretch, buddy. That's a stretch. My thing is, the decision is to pick that coach. So my thing is, why would you? And my thing, I see what you're saying. You could have stood behind him and said, "Hey, I'm gonna give him a shot and whatever." But at the same time, if he were to have done that and things went left on him, it came back, well, hey, even though you didn't pick the coach, you stood behind him, you supported him, now you're losing. Now what do you say now? How do you go about maneuvering in that kind of space? Like I said, if I give you something that you didn't ask for and I expect you to make great results with it, and then I turn around and criticize you and feel that, you could have did more with it, even though I didn't give you exactly what you wanted. Well, how are you going to, I'm not going to sit there and expect you to be cool with it and just take it gracefully.
I like what you brought up there, and I'm going to push back on it because I'm going to say this. Isn't that sports in general? Does the coach always like the team that he gets? Does the team like the coach? But they always find a way to win. There's this whole notion that they have to be involved in picking. Does it like Deshaun Watson and no quarterback is putting their money up for the coach. Like they're not paying the coach. So this idea that they should be involved in picking the coach is just something that they created, which I understand is you're working with this person supposedly when you really work with the offensive coordinator more so than the
right.
coach. But I get how it looks. It makes you feel like you have a partnership, which is true. It makes you feel like you have a partner. I help pick the coach.
Right.
Good or bad. All these quarterbacks want to do that. But you're not putting money up. So the team don't owe you that. The team paying you millions.
I understand the team paying you the millions, but at the same time, if the coach is going to come up with a scheme that doesn't fit your skill set, by all means, then why are you trying to play for a coach?
That's adaptation on both people.
Adaptation on both people.
Mm-hmm. You have to adapt to the coach that the team provided, and vice versa. The coach going to have to adapt to your particular set.
Okay, so if it don't work, whose fault is that?
It's both.
How's it both?
Because both people put in it. I can understand if one was hurt and the other one wasn't. Yeah, but it's both. If you are, we all work for a boss that we don't like.
Right.
We all work for a boss that we thought was terrible.
I understand.
Does that mean that we do half work because we don't like them? Does that mean that we publicly scrutinize them because we don't like them? No. But you're not
going to get half. But you don't half work and you don't have perform. No, you're not going to have perform. You're not going to give it your all. Be honest.
But see, then maybe that's the problem because you shouldn't.
So you mean to tell me you give 100% every day when you were on a job that you really didn't like?
I was on a job I did not like, and I was giving 100%. And I was on a job that scrutinized me,
so let me say, as you perceive that as 100%, did they perceive that as your 100%? Now, remind you.
I can't say what they perceive because that's the perception.
Because you got to understand, and what you're saying is you talking from your outside talking out. Now, you got to think from the outside, talk to somebody looking in, okay, they seen you perform here, but lately you've been driven off, and now you're performing here. Now, mind you, like I said, you perceive it as you're operating here all the time. That's how you perceive it. They've seen you here on your best days, here. But when you're on your worst days, you're here. Even though you're mentally you thinking, like I said, you're here. Mentally.
Okay.
But actually, you're performing.
So you're proving me right. So
no, not on both. No, not to say on both, though. Because my thing is this. The quarterback doesn't come up with all the plays. The quarterback doesn't come up with a scheme. Like you said, yes, it's his job to execute the scheme.
Okay.
But at the same time, you got to know what you're working with. My thing is, would you take a pallet jack to move a 40-foot container?
No.
So, in other words, if your coach, your boss is, hey, I need you to move this container with a pallet jack, and he says, all we got, you going to try to move that pallet with the pallet jack?
If we put it in if we look at it realistic,
sir. Right.
These quarterbacks are not being asked to do nothing that they can't do.
Yeah, some of them are.
What? Oh, Tua's being asked to throw.
He really can't throw. He can't throw.
So that's not Brian Forrest's fault. He was given to him. The team drafted, he did not want. That's the problem. He never wanted Tua. He wanted Justin Herbert because he wanted a quarterback that could throw. So he got fired because the team backed Tua, who really can't throw. So in this instance,
my thing
he was given the raw deal as a coach.
I understand that, sir.
David Culley was given a team with a quarterback that likes to rub everything that he sees, allegedly.
Yeah.
And they got rid of everybody else.
Okay.
So he was given the raw end of the stick. And then his backup quarterback, unfortunately, Tyrod Taylor, got hurt.
Yeah.
He was dealing with a third-string quarterback. So in both instances, the coaches were given something that they couldn't work. But what did you say? Brian Flores never publicly disrespected Tua.
Right.
David Culley never publicly disrespected Deshaun Watson.
His team did. But I think, regardless of what you said, his team told him they were not going to play him anyway with everything
but what
going on.
I'm saying is that,
and that's another thing you got to understand. The situation, regardless if it's true or not, and I don't need you to comment on whether it is.
No, I don't know if it's true or not. It's not
like I said, remember, that's what kept him off the field. He chose. It's not he didn't choose not to play. He did show up to practice, and he has traveled with the team in the beginning of the season, and they told him it was a distraction, and he could not, be with the team.
We've seen players with worse cases actually be on the field.
Really?
That's a fact.
His team was not going to play him.
What I'm saying is sometimes we have to be out.
Remember, his team was trying to trade him when everything got serious with his allegations.
He wanted to be traded.
They were
he asked to be traded.
He asked to be traded, but no, they weren't going to trade him
because he has a no trade clause.
They weren't going to trade him. They
can't just trade him.
They weren't going to trade him even if he chose not to.
Understand that
that's what I'm saying.
Remember,
now, mind you,
before
when they see
started,
he wasn't going to sit out the season. Believe me, he was going to play. My thing is, he was going to play. He was going to play. That man was going to play.
No, you think that because you were
going to play.
But he had already set in motion everything.
I'm trying to tell you. Listen to what you're saying. Listen to what you're saying. The man did not say he was not going to play. He said it is an option for him not to play. What they chose, he said he did not want to play for them anymore if he didn't get the coach he wanted. Right?
Is that not?
Now, mind you, at the same time when he's trying to get traded, all these allegations came up all of a sudden out the blue. Oh, well, I'm trying to, teams showed interest in trading for him.
They wanted to trade for him, even though.
So,
let you know the NFL don't really care about stuff as long as you can win football games.
Right. It's understandable. Then, so now you done through my whole, okay. So, when he had his allegations, he was going to play. But his team told him, hey, we prefer you not to show up because of the situation what's going on.
Is it that he felt like he had no option because now the allegations of trade, dumping him?
I think he was going to play anyway. I think he was going because he could just Russell was threatened not to play and he played.
Different situation, but I understand.
You know what I'm saying? We'll say Aaron Rodgers, same thing. Same situation. Hey, I don't want to be here. I'm not a fan of who I have in the front office. Move me. He ended up playing. So, and mind you, he just signed a big contract. So there's no way he's not going to not show up and not perform. So, but like I said, everything's on assumption. But I think I said, I believe his team, kind of like, you know what? We prefer you not to show up. Prefer you not to be on the court. The field.
All right. So let's talk about the part-time lover, Kyrie Irving. I think it's a great thing that he's playing part-time.
He could went back to play at Duke, play a full season.
That's okay.
He could have did that.
He's going to be I hate to say it, he's going to be a champion this year.
He was already a champion thanks to LeBron James.
No, right, but he's going to be another champion. I actually believe that him having a part-time schedule is actually more beneficial because he's not going to get hurt. It actually will work out.
If he feels like playing basketball.
Right now, he's loving it. He said he missed it, and he's all in.
Because he's not getting paid.
No, he was getting paid. They were paying him.
No, they weren't paying him.
No, they were paying him.
No, they weren't paying him.
They were paying him.
They were not paying that guy.
They were paying him. They could not stop it. It's different with the NBA. They were paying him because technically there's no rule in place that says you have to get the shot.
His team wasn't playing him because his team chose not to play him.
They didn't play him, but
they weren't paying him.
No, they were paying him.
We're not going back and forth about whether he's paying him. That man was not.
He was getting paid.
Either way. That man's already got money. So what difference going to make?
But they could not stop his contract. That's what I'm saying. He was still getting paid. I'm just saying that I think it's best for them because he's healthy. He's healthy at the part of the season you need him to be healthy.
He's healthy.
He's healthy.
Is he going to show up to play my son?
He's been playing.
We'll see what happens.
And I believe that
I'm not in the mood today because I have an emergency.
I think that's in the past right now. I think he honestly is he's going to play, and I think
they're going to play. He said they don't need a coach.
You're right. He did say that.
You don't need a coach.
He said what every NBA superstar has always said.
And he's been sucking too. He didn't score number 9 points every game.
It's okay. He's getting the rust off of him.
9 points.
It's okay. Give him time.
Give him time to do what? Average 10 points?
It's okay.
11?
You know what? It's funny. We said who was going to be the third wheel. Right now, if he chooses to be the third wheel, does that mess up the dynamic?
There never was a dynamic.
KD.
They just ISO game,
That's the best ISO game we've ever seen. That's winning games.
They really don't need him. They don't need him.
So it's better to have and not need than to need.
Don't hit me with that saying.
So you have someone that right now you say you don't need.
You knew why he came back to decide to play part-time? Because if he didn't get no minutes in, and they win, he wasn't getting the ring.
I think they said they were already on the team. But no, he probably wouldn't feel like wearing it because he didn't earn it. But
he's not earning it now.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay, give it time. Give it 2 more weeks. When Kyrie drop 30, and then
he's going to drop 30 on.
He's going to drop 30. He's going to start averaging 30 for the rest of the season. We're going to be like, wow, Kyrie.
I like to see that happen.
Right, sir. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, Russell Westbrook. Where are we at with him? Are we on the trading block with him? Can we trade him?
Can you trade him? I don't know. Can they trade him?
I don't think so.
They can't trade him.
To who? For
what? I don't know. You tell me.
Well, you got to get something back in return. That's worth it.
Sacramento for a case of Gatorade and a couple of towel boys and 2 cheerleaders.
At this point, I think that's all you can get for him. I think I hate to say it, but
he's ran his course.
Yeah.
He's ran his course. I mean, you can. I mean, somebody will trade for him just to basically say to start their team over,
So a placeholder.
Yeah, of course. Let Russ do what he want to do. Run a offensive. Just give him a coach that's willing to sit there and
allow him to do that.
Allow him to do that. They might get close to making the playoffs the last couple of seasons of his contract. That'd be it.
So, where do you see his legacy? Because he was with a great dynamic team that went to the finals with the Thunder. He did decent with the Rockets once they changed it up, but that only lasted a while. Then he's been to the playoffs with every team.
Right.
And of course, he averaged a triple double for 3 or 4 seasons straight.
I think 3 or 4 seasons.
But what is his legacy?
He's gonna be in the Hall of Fame because he averaged a triple double for 4 consecutive seasons.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's sad.
This is what it is.
So if you look at him, do you see him more of a Allen Iverson or Dominique Wilkins?
Neither.
Okay. Because I say Allen Iverson had heart. He just never had team.
Right.
I think Dominique had heart. They just couldn't get the right pieces to complement his game.
Right.
So you don't think Westbrook fits in neither of those categories?
No.
So even if he had the
what
right
pieces could you fit around Westbrook?
You want the truth? I thought about this.
Go ahead.
Shooters.
He had shooters.
I think build a team like they did Allen Iverson with the Sixers back in, what was it, 01? No, 02, when they went to the finals. All Allen Iverson and Mutombo, Aaron McKee, like Eric Snow.
Okay, you could do that. But you still need rebounders. They require defense. And he needs to play some defense. Some team defense.
Okay. I got something for you, and I thought about this.
Go ahead.
What if you put him and Ben Simmons together? Ben Simmons loves to pass the ball, and he plays defense, and he rebounds. That may free up Westbrook to score more, and then you just get him like a couple of shooters. Call JJ Redick, get him out of retirement.
Christian Laettner too.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
Whatever.
Call Dirk. He just needs to come off the bench.
Because when you do that, I mean, even though Ben likes to pass, Ben also likes to penetrate. Ben likes to have the ball.
True.
You know, and with the thing with having a Westbrook is, if you just said, now if you had somebody like your boy, that was his teammate in Oklahoma, center, Australian guy.
Adams.
Steven Adams. Yeah, like I said, Steven Adams. They said where he penetrates it, then he hits a roadblock, he dumps it off to him, he dunks it. Mm-hmm. You know, that's not, you know, a little dynamic. You know, somebody that's willing to sit there and pick and pop, pick and roll. You know, the whole dynamic with them instead of just sitting there and he brings the ball up and then he I don't see an option. Oh, go to the hole, break it off the backboard. Or they cut me off instead of looking for a pass. Okay, he shoots a 3.
No, I agree with you.
And Ben Simmons would free it up a little bit, but at the same time, Ben's gonna be looking to do the same thing. So I mean, you gotta. If he'd have played back in the 80s and 90s, he'd have been straight. Okay. But the game they have now, spacing is important, shooting is very important, and the players they put on the court now for small ball, the spaces he's trying to use, they're filled with players trying to shoot the ball, waiting for a pass.
Okay. All right. Well, as we wind it down, thank y'all for tuning in. Guess what? We got one more show after this. Got anything for the beautiful people at home?
Continue watching. Watch again. Share. Join the page. And so forth.
Yes, become patriots. Love us. We love y'all. 2xposu.com. Daryl and Ray, to everybody else, we're sorry. Somebody has to be number 2 to hold up number 1, and it's y'all on the show. So everybody else on the network, you're holding us up because we're the number 1. And be blessed, and we're out.
Still cupping season, y'all. Still cupping season.
One more show we're going to do.
All right.